Stop taxing the poor, tax the rich. That's the words from the World Bank to the federal government. There have also been a whole lot of deliberation as to the move by the House of Reps in respect to increasing the VAT, and which is another way of tasking Nigerians to over 15%. And I've continued to bear reactions about that. And World Bank just yesterday decried over the current situation about a lot of increased taxation on within the Nigerian people, and that they've also sent a signal. It is time for you to start paying attention to the poor. When you look at the statistics we have, and that the tax on them is quite so much, and there's a need to start taxing the rich other than keep on taxing the poor. We'll look at all of that. I'm being joined by the President, Nigerian Guild of Investigative Journalists, Abdulrahman Ali Gano, joins us live here on the program. Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, viewers.
Absolutely. We're looking at taxation now in the country. It looks that we can't exhaust this. We have to live on taxations, but for how much and at what cost? Or would they continue to tax Nigerians? Understand that there have been an outcry of the current economic hardship. So increasing VAT to over 15%, is that a good move by the government? Is that a good move by the National Assembly?
Yeah, thank you. The issue of tax or taxation is not a bad idea, and it's not a bad thing if our economy is running perfectly. But the problem lies where you are made to pay exorbitant tax, but you have nothing to gain from what you have paid. That is where it becomes like a burden on Nigerian people. Tax, we all know that it is one of the sources where government get resources or revenue to power governance. But unfortunately, it has continuously been a burden on the poor, just like what the World Bank alluded to. Tax the rich, not the poor. You now discover that when the poor are consistently taxed, it's like the government doesn't want the poor to breathe.
Even when the president said allow the poor to breathe.
So, and I can tell you, if even the poor start seeing the reasons why the heavy tax or taxes were being levied on them, there won't be outcry. But what is the essence of exorbitant tax and you don't have anything to show for it, other than the little business the poor are being managed with? They ensure that they get that business down as a result of exorbitant taxes. For the National Assembly, you can't really blame them, because to me, this 10th Assembly is nothing but a rubber stamp, and the Senate President has alluded to that times without number, that anything that the President put before him, that is going to stamp it. So if you are telling me that there is a move to increase tax, and the National Assembly being deliberated upon it, that by 2025 there will be that Nigerians should be expecting increase in value-added tax, don't be surprised. So that is it.
When we look at, because we can't really speak compared to the National Assembly members we elected. We elected members of the National Assembly to speak for us and to protect the interests of the Nigerian people. And the World Bank have also said, rather than taxing people, also look at the issues of cutting costs of governance. They've also raised that concern. And because on the other hand, yes, we are trying to discourage borrowing from government. For government borrowing from the IMF, the World Bank, and all of that. They are trying to look inward. should looking inward now means taxing Nigerians, should then not rather pay attention to also the cost of governance? Because that's what the World Bank have also declared, that, looking at our oil wealth, we have invested more on servicing the rich. And the elite are getting richer every day, while the poor are getting poorer every day. From your own assessment, do you feel that they are not showing enough in terms of living the life of sacrifice? The president in his broadcast over and over again will tell you, give me more time, exercise patience. I understand that the economic policies are very tough and hard one, but just give me some more time, make some sacrifices for now. At what cost are Nigerians making these sacrifices, and what are the implications of all of this?
Now, you can see that, to me, from the start of this government, it is error. Why I say that? If you really have a plan for governance, it is not that the same way the Mr. President started his administration that he will start it. Mr. President made us to believe that subsidy is gone. And in actual sense, subsidy has gone. But a government that actually planned for governance, before subsidy will go, what are the plan? So definitely they knew that subsidy will bring about the antecedent effect on the common people. What are those plans the government put in place before the removal of subsidy? Definitely there was nothing. They removed the subsidy. It is not far-fetched. The issue of, the power tariff was hiked from 66 naira to 250 naira or 255 naira or thereabout. So now, when they now ask government to cut governance, they don't look at it that it is a sacrifice that they're supposed to make. Because if you are an elective position, what comes to their mind is how to come back again, even when they have nothing to show for their first coming. And they will begin to look at amassing weight for the second term. I can tell you, some people, they have started the second term mobilization from now. Even from the first time, government has nothing other than burden on the people. When you are now asking them to reduce governance, they don't want to hear that. And they will even tell you that they have cut this,
their salary, their salary.
But it has nothing. It has impacted nothing but negative in the life of Nigeria.
So you feel the sacrifice is not enough?
It's not. In fact, it's not even there. It's not even there at all. Just go to the street and ask an average Nigerian how are they being faring under this government. They will tell you. I know you have been hearing more than much that it has continuously been negative. So, looking at the only thing that can serve as solution to this issue is when we make the issue of government, public office, when we demystify it, that anybody that is coming to serve should know that he's coming to sacrifice. He's coming to serve the people. It's not that you are coming to make money or to amass wealth. Until we get to that point, that is when Nigerian governance will be looking at Nigerian people.
We are more particular about this concern because some of us have supported, many Nigerians have supported removal of subsidy. But again and again, it looks that if you ask a common Nigerian now, you will tell you, please bring back that particular subsidy. Do you feel that is about the management? Because ideally, almost all the political parties are subscribed to the removal of subsidy, that it was evil and all of that. But now, isn't that the price we have to pay? Do you feel that Nigerians are paying too much on the grounds of removing subsidy? On the other end, do you feel that indeed we are not subsidizing that product? Because if we are having prices, back and forth. We're not really stable. We can't really say this is the true situation of things. We're asking for the refinery. Dangote refinery came, and unfortunately, many persons were jubilating that it would be a good move, that fuel definitely would drop. But it's not the situation. What is the situation? What's the problem about removing subsidy? Should we go back to that old time?
See, if I should tell you that we should go back to subsidy regime, one may not be telling himself the naked truth. But it is not even the actual removal of subsidy is the problem. If governments can take a bold step to address the corruption that is in oil sector, honestly, the issue of subsidy will be not even secondary but tertiary. So it is the corruption that is endemic in that sector. Now, we were promised that when they remove subsidy, fuel will be available everywhere. Today, on my way to this place, I queue to buy fuel. Because if the subsidy is anything to go by, it should have eliminated the queues in the filling station.
So it's not even about the affordability of the product, and the availability is also a question. Yeah,
that is, you even hold your money, you can't access it easily. And we were made to believe that the moment they remove subsidy, there will be availability of the product. Go to any filling station now, you still meet queue. So you discover that Nigeria, we used to be adaptive. We have adapted to that situation. We are ready to buy at any cost. But is it available? Because the belief is that any amount that I get the fuel, but the multiplier effect is going to be on the services or the product I sell. Because definitely that is the language that everybody understand. If I buy fuel in so amount, whatever the services that I'm rendering, whatever product that I sell, definitely there will be an effect on that either services or product. So it's not even a matter of removal of subsidy. Just like you said, every party during that election, they agreed to the removal of subsidy. Now, the subsidy has been removed.
Subsidy gone.
Has it changed anything in Nigerian economy?
So the management is a problem there.
That is just it. And the corruption. I keep saying it that the corruption in the oil sector, if Mr. President is very sincere, look into that sector, address that endemic corruption that has rendered that sector not working. So that is just it. It is not about when they remove subsidy, Nigeria they cried out, but at the end of the day, what happened? They calmed down. And like I said, we are very adaptive, and we have adjusted our system. If you have the car, if you know you can afford to take it out, you take it out. If you know that you cannot afford to take it out, you park it at home, you take public transport. Even that public transport, how much, at what cost? It is unbearable for Nigeria. So it is the issue of let government look into that sector. Let them critically address the corruption that is existing in that sector. That I want to believe that is the only solution to this problem we are having. And any hike in fuel price, it will definitely affect everything in our economy. That is just the fact.
And it's worrisome because we are still relying more on one part of the energy. We look at government effort trying to get CNG buses and all of that. It looks that it's not working and it's not even sustainable. But let's just stay on the course of the conversation. Tax. They have made several comparisons that other clients in another country They tax their citizens, to get things better. Some of them do not even rely on the natural resources. They just rely more on the ability for people to pay taxes. So there is a cross line there. Now there is important, there is need for people to pay tax. But when you look at the taxing system of the country, how much tax has been paid, and if Nigerians are being responsive, Nigerian will tell you, I can't pay for tax when the services what I'm getting is not working. I'm not getting electricity. Just yesterday, the national grid for the 6th time had collapsed. So it does look that there is a lack of trust between the people and the government. On the other hand, government probably wants the fantastic situation of what is happening in other climes. But over here in the country, citizens are not paying tax. They are not responsive. Do you feel that it's due to their inability to solve all of these problems? Or do we just leave it up to the hands of government alone?
See, let me bring it to the family level. As a family and as the head of family, you know how you run your family perfectly well. The same thing goes to the affairs of a nation. Like I said, tax is not a problem. Where Nigerians are having problem is the tax that I'm paying of what benefit. And we discover that they can make, you don't even have option as a poor Nigerian not to pay tax when they come. If you are made to pay tax, and the essence why you are being made to pay tax, you get it in returns. Like I said, honestly, there won't be problem, there won't be issue that we are having all over. But who are the people paying tax? You discover that it is the poor that are paying tax. The big shots, they don't pay tax. They evade tax. Recently, Guaranty Trust Bank, there was an allegation that Guaranty Trust Bank evaded tax from the remitter that accrued from remitter. From 2015 till date, this is a self-confession, and that is an organization. If such a big organization can evade tax, then why are we chasing these, small businesses on the streets? Because the pay as you earn. When you leave the rich and you begin to chase the poor to pay tax, definitely there will be outcry. More importantly, the poor look at, particularly this government, that the government is after the poor man, that they don't want the poor man to breathe. Meanwhile, if you take a statistic data of the big shots, the big companies, I can tell you, if 50% of them are paying tax regularly, then I don't think we will be here, where we are in this country. The big companies, they don't pay tax, and they know how they do this thing within themselves. So, like I made reference to Guaranty Trust Bank, since 2015, what is the FIRS doing in that respect? So, that means that even that tax, if the FIRS or any other regulatory body take the issue of tax, the way it's supposed to be, when the richer they get it heavier, let the poorer get it lesser, so that there won't be unnecessary outcry from the poor. And it is this same poor man that you will go to anytime you are seeking office. But the moment you get that office as a public office holder, they don't see you any longer, and go outside there, you will see this Abuja environmental something board. They will be chasing people that they are hawking little things just to make ends meet, and they will leave big shots that they know that the moment they attack them, when they make a call, somebody can even lose his or her job. So the issue of tax is a global thing, and for any economy to run perfectly, there must be a what I can call sustainable tax system, or a tax that brings succor to the people's plight. So if you are being taxed on anything that you get the benefit, there won't be problem. Just like some people were put to band in this power sector,
band A,
band B, band C. If that system can actually work, why the national grid is being collapsed as we speak? So you even discover that some areas that naturally they're supposed to even be in band E, they put them on band A. Some people area that they're supposed to put in band A, they put them either band B or band C. So we don't really have a system that can actually make things work. And the moment we get our institution right, honestly, everything will continue to work perfectly in this country.
You just mentioned of system, and I'm particular about statistics, because we've seen government trying to say, okay, let's get to empower the poor. And the question we'll ask again, what are the statistics of the poorest of the poor? We've seen them trying to give out grants. So even if they have the intention to exclude poorest of the poor from maybe future taxations, because the bill is already in the National Assembly and the constitution is already in the 2025 in the National Assembly, what approaches can they use? We've not seen the services of, oh, these are the poorest of the poor. These are the services of the middle class, even if we even have people in the middle class again and all of that consideration, because we're trying to see how they can't really have a data to work with. Because when you look at the comparison with other countries they definitely have data. They have the working class data, because you can't say 70,000 minimum wage to workers. Do you know the statistics of people that are working? Do you know the number of people that are not working? What are the capacity of people to really be able to comply with this taxation? Are you bothered about that we cannot really have a reliable and workable data as we speak?
See, the issue is that if there is no, you hardly do anything without data. And I can tell you, as a nation, we don't have what we can call data or database. Let me tell you.
So all of these interventions have always been...
It's just to me, it's a scam. We don't have data. And for you to plan for anything, starts with data. When you don't have a statistic of the working class, the middle class, and the poor, what do you want to do? And thanks to that number, you discover that when government wanted to intervene in any the problems of the Nigerians, they just go to one market and say they are doing handout, giveaway. How many can that reach? So honestly, the issue is that if you don't have data, that means you have not even get to the root of the problem you want to solve. Because to solve any problem starts with data. Look at your driver's license. You have completely a number there. When you go to your national ID card, is another. The one, which other one? Driver's license, national ID card. And if you are taking any other, your BVN.
Still have to process.
And I want to believe in other clients, it's not like that. You have just one data
the single
that
card
can
system.
access any information about you. So when the data is porous, how do you now harness those data to advance any problems you want to, governance problem you want to solve? So it starts from data. And the day we get our data base right, it will serve as a starting point in addressing our national problem. That is just the fact.
Because a concern towards the government have given palliative to states to distribute. We see federal government telling you we've done this, we've done that, and all of that, and the people will keep on saying we have not seen it, and we're trying to track how far this has gone. And I've also seen a blame towards the state government, how they are managing what federal government have been have sent to them, and also the local government autonomy that have been granted to the local government, and how far this can go. So it looks that all of these efforts are just meeting with futility because it's not really getting to the grassroots.
That is it. Like I said, you see, in your own family, if you really want your family work, you know what to do. You know the sacrifice as a father that you can do to make your children eat. Let's take it up. The starting point of any problem, any nation, is how right they get their data. And if data is not reliable, honestly, there is virtually anything you can do to affect or to solve that problem. So that's why you discover that when they say they wanted to launch one program or the other, you discover that even either the state government or the federal government, even from what they dish out, you discover that this is nothing to write home about. Recently, when they said they brought about, I think, 74 CNG buses with Nigerian population, how far can that go? Can that even serve even a community? Not to even talk about a population of about over 200 million population, 74 CNG buses. Where can this go? What percentage
Maybe that was
our population?
Maybe that was for the Federal Capital Territory alone.
They said about maybe 7,000, or they made that number. I can't really remember. Even that number, how far can it go? Go to the state. Like I said, for any governors, what they are after now is how to, if they are first-time governors, how to secure the second term. And if it is the second-term governor, is how to find himself maybe in the Senate, or that is their thinking. Thinking that they are thinking about Nigerians, honestly, it is not true. That's why you discover that no government plan has really worked. Remember, there is what we call needs. I think National Economic Emancipation Development Strategy. We have it at the national, we have it at the state, even we have it at the local level. Does that work? Till date, we have Vision 2020. If you see the document, Vision 2020 document,
Vision 2030.
Now we are talking about Vision 2030. And when you see those documents, they are fantastic documents. But when it comes to implementation, because the data has not been rightly gotten, so it will definitely make mess of any plan, any programs or projects the government intends to do.
So sometimes government have good intentions.
That is the fact. That's why I say in Nigeria, honestly, just go and check the Vision 2020, and I know it is the same Vision 2020 that will take to Vision 2030. They are fantastic documents. If you have the privilege of reading that vision, I think it was brought by Abacha, where Abacha government envisioned Nigeria in 2020. Honestly, if that document had actually worked upon, honestly, Nigeria would have been somewhere better by that 2020. We are in year 2024 today. What can we talk about Nigeria in terms of development? Yeah, there are some pockets of development that we cannot shy away from, but this is not
How impactful is it?
That is it. This is not actually where we should be by now, compared to the other climes where our leaders travel to. So I want to believe those are the kind of system they see outside there they want to bring to Nigeria. But how did they get it right there? Is it something that is applicable here that can actually work in our system? So definitely we have to go back to that database. And the moment we get our data correctly, honestly, all other things that is falling on it, they will be perfectly managed, and Nigeria will move at least from this negative
station we are.
Yeah.
A concern, because when you ask this government will tell you we inherited a bad economy, and that we are trying to fix the maze of the past 16 years of PDP, and the past 8 years of our former president, and all of that, and that it's a reforms. Just yesterday, Vice President Kashim Shettima said, "I understand that the policies are tough. It's a hard decision that we are taking, but it's for good." And Nigerians are casting their mind back to probably the same statement that other administration really had said the same, even if it wasn't in the same words. It had a similarity of, it's just about sometimes we get things right. We are working on the situation. Government will always have, message you communicate. But one thing that Nigerians seems to be afraid is that if we can wait again, and then at the end of the day, we can't really have something substantive to show for our development. And looking at the economic policies that have been taken, looking at the reforms and the move by the government and the good intentions the government may have, do you feel that it's dangerous on the other end to continue to make people have to pass through the level we are, understanding that it's a sacrifice that people have to pay? Or do you also have a consideration that since government is a continuation, they ought not to really push blame to whatever they inherited? They ought to fix the problem because they asked for the job, they applied for the job, they've gotten the job, and they should probably do the job.
Yeah, if you look at it, that is just the system. That is the way.
The blame game.
Blame game. Have you ever listened to maybe American campaign or any government that comes to power and started shifting blame to the past government? So that shows that there was no plan on the ground even before they look for that power. Because if you actually want to work and you actually want to deliver, there must be a plan. There must be goals you want to achieve. And your goal must be smart in nature. Your goal must be sustainable. It must be measurable. Your goal must be achievable. It must be realistic. And it must be a time bound. The moment your goals are not smart, you cannot achieve them. And it has formed part of a Nigerian culture, particularly the political politicians. The moment they fail in their responsibility, they will begin to shift blame to the past government. Meanwhile, as a candidate that you are vying for a particular position, you must have known the enormous of the challenges that is on ground. And that is the reason why you come out, you bring yourself forward to contest, and you know that what the past administration did wrong. That was your strength during the campaign period. You campaign based on these flaws that the past government did rightly or wrongly. For you now to come on board to continue to do that game, a blame game, it doesn't make that government serious, because nobody in this country that doesn't know that we are in a critical economic mess, and they amplified on that flaws. That was the reason why Nigerians felt that maybe this administration will bring a better day and time for Nigeria. But now, the reverse is the case. There was a platform that I in one of the platforms, this media platform, that somebody was trying to remind people that during Jonathan, the highest price we bought rice was 9,000 naira. In fact, they even said that 9,000 naira was foreign rice. It brought us to when Buhari took over. The highest we bought rice was 50-something thousand naira. Today, I myself, I have bought rice, a bag of rice, 96,000 naira.
And some are even buying at 120,000.
So that is it. So there must be a plan, a robust one, if government is sincere. For you to take over a particular government, you must have plan what you want to do, and you must be aware that there was a serious challenges on ground. We believe in your expertise. We believe in your experience. That is why we voted you in. So Nigeria, we don't want to listen to any blame game anymore. Let them do what is expected of them. They are looking for the mandate. They have gotten it. Let them deliver on their campaign promises. That is what Nigeria is demanding.
Nigerians are demanding that they get the job done, and of course stop pushing blame to over and over other administrations that are concerned. And the World Bank in their own statement said, stop tasking the poor, get to tax the rich, and get the things working, and so that Nigeria can really get to work. The plan they have, whatever plan you have, definitely is for the betterment of the country, Nigeria, and that's a much concern we'll be having on that discussion over the move to increase the VAT to 15% about the federal government. How far this can go, what is the consideration about the statistics of the poor we have in the country, and how far these reactions and implications can be in the life of every common Nigerian is what we're tracking. Thanks so much to the President of the Nigerian Guild of Investigative Journalists, Abdurrahman Ali, and thanks so much for joining us on the show this morning. And that's where we wrap it up on the show this morning. A concern on other developments and the stories to come. Super Eagles at Libya. What has been the reaction on the spot this morning? Anthony will bring you the chart, and of course gives you more insight on what are the reactions of the CAF and other actors within the sports sector just on the morning, Global Morning Sports Show this morning. Do stay with us on the program, of course, still on Global TV. My name is Edikat Michael. See you again.